Hey, it's Risa G coming in from her cluttered kitchen. First thing I want to say is if you do hear a mower, there's nothing we can do about it. Our next door neighbor just started mowing, and he'll be mowing for about 2 hours. So, anyway, so if you hear it, don't mind it. All right, I wanted to excitedly tell everybody about the newest addition to Risa's Cluttered Kitchen, a kitchen island, baby. We finally got one. I've been asking for one, but I knew I couldn't get it because with the kitchen table here, where would we put it? And then Steve came up with a brilliant idea. Why don't we just move the kitchen table into the living room? So it'll be like a dining room next to the living room. And so that's what we did. As you can probably see behind me, the table is now all the way over here, there, and we have a kitchen island. So I wanted to show you around the new kitchen island. There will be all the information about the island, any links, the name of the model, all that kind of stuff will be in my notes if I can still find it. We got it at Home Depot. I'm not going to get into the whole story, the long winding story about the island, because we ordered a couple of different ones and they both came in broken, cracked, and we could not, and we had to have them sent back. Plus, because of COVID practices, they would not deliver it into the house, so we had to wait until all the rules changed again, and Home Depot brought it in. Thanks to Home Depot for finally making my dream come true. So anyway, I wanted to show you around our new lovely kitchen island. Okay? As you can see from the front, there are 3 drawers. There are 2 shelves, and then there are 2 cabinets. Okay? Okay, then when you turn the corner, we have a towel rack. And then we have like a spice shelf for shelving for bottles and little things, all right? So I'm storing all of my Trader Joe's spices and some extra bottles of hot sauce on this side. Then over here we decided, since we don't have any stools, and we can't sit here for breakfast or whatever, we'll put the dog bowls there. And then this side is exactly like that on the other side. A towel rack and more space for all of our lovely hot sauces. Okay? Now, so originally the original idea was to take all the stuff off of the kitchen table that Steve felt was a waste of space so that he could have arm room when he eats. So we took my meal planner, all the flyers, all my notes, whatever, put it in one drawer along with my glasses, and now I can find them. All right, in one drawer. Now, this thing came with 3 things that I did not know it was going to come with. I didn't really read the website when Steve showed me the photo on the web. It came with a thing with squares in it, like it has like holes in it so that you can put stuff, I guess, like spice jars or something. You can organize all your little things. So it's like in fact it is. It's a tic-tac-toe board basically in wood. It is. It's a tic-tac-toe board in wood. And that way I have room for pencils and pens, a set of measuring spoons, some measuring cups, whatever, etc., a mitt, whatever. And then in this drawer, it came with a transportable rack. I mean a caddy for silverware. So put the silverware in this one, and it came with a knife rack. So I decided to put cookbooks over here where I can see them, and that way I can put them in the cookbook holder. I decided to put measuring cups over here, or at least decorative measuring cups over here. In here, I decided to put some bowls. I'm going to be putting more bowls and things in there. And then some other etc. This for my Instant Pot. And another cutting board, a small cutting board. This is a Nigel Lawson one with a little garbage thing. And then on this side, I decided I had space for my my Vitamix, and I thought I would switch it out every once in a while with my food processor. So I have room for that, and there's room behind it too. And then I also put my new little mini chop in here, my spice grinder, and my scale. But there's room behind everything for other things. So if I want to store a few more kitchen towels or things like that, I can put them there. Or if I want to leave some spices behind there, ones that I use a lot, things like that. Eventually, I think I may make this into like a spice drawer. I may take the wooden thing out and just put spices in there. Haven't quite decided yet. It's only been about a week. Tomorrow will be a week. Tomorrow will be a week since we got the kitchen island. Alright, anyway, so just wanted to show you around the new kitchen island. All information about the kitchen island, if I can find a link, model, I'll give you the model number and all that in my notes below the video. Okay? Also, today I also wanted to show you a recipe because I have not been doing recipes for a while. I haven't been doing any cooking because there have been a lot of things going on in the kitchen. A lot of upheaval in the last few months. The latest is going to be on Wednesday. They're repairing the stovetop. Our stove, the knobs, only one of the 5 knobs works, and we're having that replaced on Wednesday. And hopefully our stove will work again so everybody can use it. Anyway, so I wanted to show you a great recipe that I have adapted from Food Between Friends by Jessie Tyler Ferguson and Julie Tanous, I think is her last name. I don't know, something like that. It's a wonderful book. I have spoken about it before. I've made this recipe twice, once with beef and the other with bison, and this time I'm going to be using Imposssible meat. So I thought I would show you how to do it. It's a very quick chili and it's delicious. For today's version, I switched out the spices to use Barbecue Bestie by What's Gabby Cooking, Gabby Dalkin, and her wonderful spices. Because some of the spices that were listed in there are in here with some other things, and I also added in a touch of chipotle and some Mexican oregano, which is not in it, because that's one of the ingredients, and I love Mexican oregano. So anyway, so I'm going to show you. First, I'm going to do a little bit of prep. Also, one other thing about this island. It also came with a glass cutting board that's in here. It's kind of heavy, so I won't pull it out. But there's a glass cutting board. Yay! And so I'm going to do a little bit of prep over here. And then I'm going to go over to the Instant Pot and start cooking. Okay, so I'm going to be adapting the camping chili, and it's from Food Between Friends, which is one of my favorite newer cookbooks. Jessie Tyler Ferguson, the star, one of the stars of Modern Family, and his friend Julie, I think it's Tanous, Tanous. I'm following her on Instagram, and she actually responded to me once, which was amazing. All right, anyway, she's very happy that I'm cooking my way through her book. With their book, I should say. Anyway, I've made this recipe twice, as I said. Once with beef, once with bison. I omitted the chipotle because it's 2 of them, and it's the canned chilies, and I know Trevor don't like chili. So instead, this time, I just added a 1/4 teaspoon of dry chipotle just to give a little smokiness, and it won't give that much heat. Also, this mixture, the Barbecue Bestie, has chili pepper, but it's not like one of the first ingredients. It's like the 6th or 7th, and they don't tell you which chili pepper. I assume it's just chili flake, but who knows. So it shouldn't be all that spicy. All right, so I'm gonna cut up the onion. I've already cut it one way, and this is not the right knife to do this with, but it's the definite wrong knife to do this with. So all these years you've seen me cutting, I cut much better than this. Alright, so, and it doesn't matter because I have some already in the Instant Pot. Obviously I'm going to be doing this in the Instant Pot. Alright, so I'm going to scoop up the onion because it doesn't matter how minced up it is, really. And I already sliced through this, so I'm just going to mince it. As you can see, I have some already minced up. Anyway, I'm loving this little cutting board, even though it's glass and it's noisy. But I love being able to stand here and actually watch TV and cook at the same time. Okay, so we're gonna, now what I'm gonna do is, this is something new that I've been doing ever since I saw Alex Guarnaschelli do this on The Kitchen. What she does is she spreads out the meat and then she seasons it all thoroughly, and that way you don't get it in one spot and then have to mix it all together. And especially with meat, you don't want to mix it too much because then you overwork the meat and it doesn't taste good. So I made a whole mixture of some of the spices in the recipe and some of this Barbecue Bestie. I mixed it together and I'm just sprinkling it evenly. All right. And then I'm scooping it around, folding it in. All right. And that way our quote unquote meat is thoroughly seasoned. Okay. Plus, this way we'll bring all of this over to the Instant Pot. Okay. And where the rest of the ingredients are sitting. All right. I'm going to put this is my Instant Pot SV. Okay, so I've already started sauteing a little bit of the onion beforehand. I'll add this onion. Alright. And recipe says to saute your onion. I'm going to add my garlic now because it's already mostly sauteed already. And as you know, you're not supposed to cook onions for that long anyway, because otherwise it will burn. As usual, I have my little clip in place, and as with most chili recipes, stew recipes, etc., then you add your tomato paste. This one is from Trader Joe's, but I've used other brands like Cento. I forget what the other one is at the supermarket, but I really love it in the tube. Alright, so now I'm going to cook the tomato paste a little bit. It's called the Maillard effect. You know that? It's called the Maillard effect. When you put tomato paste in and you cook it until it changes a little bit from red to brown, and it's supposed to add some kind of, I guess, dimension to your meal. That's what they say. That's what chefs say on TV. Alright, now, since the seasoning is in there, I am not going to salt and pepper this until the whole mess is cooked up. Alright, so I'm gonna move. This is the wrong wooden spoon for this job, but first thing I'm gonna do is, because I have issues with the what is it? I have issues with the that setting, you know, the burn thing. And so what I do first, before I add meats and stuff, I like to, especially if it got really brown, is I like to add a little bit of liquid right now and deglaze it a little bit, just so that I don't have that problem. That way I clean up the surface of all the browned bits. And then it kind of cooks off, and the surface is, I've seen other people just add onions, fresh onion to that. Onions emit water when they cook. Onions emit water when they cook, and then when you scrape the onions, the surface gets clean. But alright, so now I'm going to add my quote-unquote meat. This one is, you know, we actually prefer the Imposssible meat to the Beyond Burger, so that's what I'm using. I got a very good deal on it a few weeks ago. I think it was Trader Joe's. I was surprised to see any kind of a name brand there. But they had like, I think it was like 6 or 8 of the burgers for a certain price, and it was like cheap. It was like $6 or $8 or something like that. Because normally a pound of it, of Imposssible meat, is like $10 for a pound of just the quote-unquote meat. But it was like a really, really excellent deal. And then ShopRite also had a great deal. A few weeks ago, it was like $3.99. So I bought up a few packets, and they've been sitting in the freezer. All right. What I like about Imposssible is that it actually goes from red to brown, like regular ground meat. So it looks more like the real thing when you're eating it, where the quote-unquote vegetarian or vegan meat that are from the other brands do not. They go from like a grayish, or the red, to like gray. It's like a weird color. But those are made from pea protein, and I found that pea protein, Trevor does not react well to pea protein. You got sick last time I made Beyond Burger. This is made from soy, and a lot of people have something against soy, but it's not like we eat it every day. I like the way it tastes and the way it looks a lot better if I'm going to make chili for Meatless Monday. So that's what I'm doing. All right, well, I think that's cooked enough. All right, so with most chilies, what do you do at this point after you cook off the meat? You add tomatoes. Normally I strain out the liquid, but since I'm cooking this in the Instant Pot, we want the liquid, otherwise it won't go to pressure. So I'm using a can of fire roasted tomatoes, which during the pandemic I had the worst time finding it. They stopped making it or selling it or something, and I couldn't find it for several months, and then all of a sudden I started finding it, so I started buying up a ton of it. I also made some beef broth. The recipe calls for several cups of beef broth, but it's not an Instant Pot recipe. And it feeds, I think it's like 8 to 10 servings. So this way it'll be 4 to 5 servings, which is more than enough for the 3 of us. So instead of 4 cups of broth, I actually only use about a cup. And this is actually better than bouillon, roast beef. And then I'm also adding some beer, because the recipe calls for beer. The alcohol will cook off. Although they say that's a bit of a myth, but they say that most of the alcohol burns off. Some, a little bit doesn't, but whatever's in there isn't going to affect anybody. Also, I found when I cleaned out the refrigerator before, I found some fairly new chili. So I'm going to add that for some thickness because there's hardly any liquid in this. And I'm going to add a can of black beans, drained. I picked through it. All right. Okay. I'm also going to just taste the broth from this for a second, see if it needs any salt before I cook it. Yeah, needs a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to add like, I don't know, half a teaspoon maybe. Okay, now I'm going to cancel, remove the clip. Now I cook chili, I put it on seal. I cook chili on the stew setting or the chili setting. I'm going to do this chili setting. It's set for 15 minutes, which is fine. I usually do 10 or 15, so we'll go with 15. And in 15 minutes or so, I will do a quick release, and we'll see what we got. Okay? Okay, so cooking is done. It just ended. I turned it off, and we're going to let all the steam out. Let it out away from the kitchen cabinet, because it does something to the finish, the steam. Even though, do we really care after 20 years? But see, because I waited at least 5 minutes, it's not the starch isn't coming out all over the place. I did instead of a quick release like I was going to, I did a natural release, which meant I did nothing for 5 minutes. Yeah, I would get no starch release. Waiting. Waiting. Hello. Hello. Boop, boop, be doo. Since it's released most of the starch, I'm going to turn it around. Now, this model, for some reason, also has a problem with the pin, where the pin doesn't go down by itself sometimes, even though it's released all its pressure. So I use my finger and just go, I just touch it and it falls. Alright, so let's see if it falls or not. Are we going to fall? Doesn't look like we're going to fall. Alright. I also realized something before that I forgot to add. I was wondering why the seasoning was off. It's because I forgot to add the Worcestershire sauce, which adds some saltiness and whatever. So, since we're not serving this for probably about 15 minutes anyway, I'm going to add the tablespoon of it. Okay. This is what it looks like with this is what it looks like out of the pot. Looks like, sort of looks like chili. So I'm gonna taste the broth now that I've added the Worcestershire. See, that's better. It's a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Now, of course, we can, so I do not need salt. I do think it needs a little bit of pepper, though. Okay. Okay, now this can sit on warm for, I don't know, whatever. We're not going to eat for about 10-15 minutes. Just let it sit. And let it sit for about 15 minutes or so. And the flavors will kind of meld. And then I'm going to serve it with some sour cream for me and Stevie. And I don't have any cilantro. No cilantro. I was at Walmart today. I could have picked up some cilantro. I didn't. But I found a little bit of parsley when I cleaned out the refrigerator. So we'll use a little of that for green. And I got some scallion. So I'll chop up some scallion. And I also found some cotija cheese, which is Mexican cheese that's sort of like Parmesan. So I'll use a little of that. And the recipe also says to use shredded cheese. I don't think I have any shredded cheese. I have some in the freezer downstairs. Don't really have time to thaw it now. So I'm going to take some cheddar. I've got 2 kinds of cheddar in the... And I got some pepper jack. And I'll shred up some of that with a knife and serve it. So you can garnish this, of course, any way you like your chili. But that's how I'm going to do it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing my new kitchen island. And as I said, there will be information about it in the notes below. If you like the video, please press like. And of course, subscribe, press that little bell, and come back again to Reese's Cluttered Kitchen. Bye.